Welcome to the English Effect. Today, we're diving into a fully immersive explainer of the dark, magical world of Harry Potter's fourth year. But my goal here isn't just to tell you a great story. We're actually going to use this cinematic journey to help you naturally master some advanced English vocabulary right alongside Harry in the shadows of Hogwarts. So let's just leave the ordinary world behind for a bit, shall we? We are stepping into a narrative packed with mystery, danger, and some seriously powerful language.
Our story actually begins miles away from the safe, candlelit halls of school. It starts in the dead of night, with a deeply unsettling dream. Harry Potter awakens, his scar absolutely searing with pain, having just witnessed this terrifying vision of Lord Voldemort plotting murder in the abandoned, rotting remains of the Riddle House. The atmosphere right from the jump is tense, heavy, and just dripping with dread. And this feeling, right here, this lingering dread, this worrying impression that something awful is just waiting to happen, that's what we call ominous. The vision in the Riddle House casts an ominous shadow over the entire wizarding world. It's like this heavy weight hanging in the air before the school year has even started. You can literally feel the danger gathering in the dark.
Well, that ominous feeling doesn't stay a dream for long. Before heading back to school, Harry and his friends attend the spectacular Quidditch World Cup. But the celebration is brutally cut short. Right in the middle of the night, masked Death Eaters, Voldemort's loyal followers, attack the campground. They march through the crowd, setting fires, while the terrifying dark mark is cast high into the night sky, glowing like a giant emerald skull.
This absolute terrifying chaos, this wild, noisy disorder, is Pandemonium. Imagine it, the screaming crowds, the sheer panic, the burning tents, and the Ministry of Magic completely losing control of the whole situation. That absolute uproar, that total breakdown of order, yep, that is Pandemonium. So fleeing that pandemonium, the students finally make it back to the safety of Hogwarts, only to face a stunning and exciting incident. The school is hosting the legendary Triwizard Tournament, and the champions are selected by an ancient magical artifact. But unexpectedly, the flames turn red, and the Goblet of Fire spits out a fourth name, the underaged Harry Potter. Against his will, and honestly against all the rules, he's forced into a deadly, inescapable magical contract.
The only logical explanation here is that the goblet has been bewitched. To be bewitched means to be enchanted or controlled by magic, usually in a deceptive way. A really powerful charm was placed on the goblet to trick it. But the concept of being bewitched in this story actually runs a lot deeper. It also applies to the tragic state of the enslaved house elves, like Winky, who are bound by ancient magic to obey their master's every command, unable to flee even when their own lives are in danger.
And this brings us to some of the darker social themes hiding just beneath the magical surface of this world. When the press cruelly exposes Hagrid's part-giant heritage and tries to paint him as this violent monster, Hermione Granger steps up with a fierce, intelligent defense of her friend. She realizes that the fear isn't based on facts at all. It's based on irrational, blind hatred.
She hits the nail on the head here. This fear is rooted in bigotry, an obstinate, unreasonable prejudice against a group of people based on their identity. Through Hermione's eyes, we see how the wizarding world struggles with deep-seated bigotry against giants, werewolves, and house elves. It's a pretty powerful reminder that magical societies struggle with the exact same moral failings as human ones. This whole theme deepens with a really dramatic warning from Harry's godfather, Sirius Black. When he's warning the trio about the ruthless nature of Ministry official Barty Crouch, Sirius delivers one of the most profound lessons in the entire narrative. He points out that you cannot judge someone's true character by how they treat powerful people, but rather by how they treat those who have no power at all. He specifically warns them to watch how Crouch treats his inferiors. An inferior is a person who is lower than another in rank, status, or ability. In the context of our story, this is absolutely crucial. True morality is revealed by how you treat those you consider your inferiors. Barty Crouch treats his house elf terribly, revealing a cold, cruel heart hiding right beneath his respectable ministry exterior. But listen, Harry really doesn't have time to dwell on ministry politics right now. He's got a tournament to survive, and it is a grueling timeline. Autumn, outfly a massive fire-breathing dragon. Winter, plunge into the freezing, treacherous depths of the Black Lake to rescue his best friend. Spring, navigate a massive, enchanted maze packed with dark creatures. The sheer adrenaline of that first task is literally breathtaking. Facing down a ferocious, nesting Hungarian horntail dragon,
Harry realizes his only real advantage is his incredible flying ability, so he summons his broomstick and brilliantly outmaneuvers the beast in this high-flying evasion, using pure speed and instinct to snatch the golden egg and survive.
But then, right in the middle of this deadly tournament, the narrative takes a sharp turn. Winter arrives, bringing the Yule Ball. Suddenly, the focus shifts to teenage romance, awkward school dances, and the desperate struggle to find a date. We are looking at this incredibly sharp contrast between completely normal childhood struggles and the looming threat of the deadly magical tasks that are waiting for them.
This sharp contrast we're seeing, that is a perfect example of juxtaposition, the act of placing two very different things close together for a contrasting effect. Here, the warm, innocent magic of clumsy teenage crushes is juxtaposed directly next to the sinister reality of gathering dark forces. Placing these two worlds side by side makes the looming danger feel so much more real and immediate, doesn't it?
As the year pushes on, this incredibly gothic, mysterious atmosphere just kind of settles over the grounds. The rival magical schools, arriving in grand, imposing ways like the ghostly Durmstrang ship rising from the lake, really heighten the tension. The stakes are building, the final challenge is approaching, and the air is just thick with an inescapable sense of doom.
The third task is a massive, dark maze. And as Harry and his fellow Hogwarts champion Cedric Diggory plunge into those terrifying hedges, the obstacles feel completely insurmountable. Insurmountable means too great to be overcome. Facing blast-ended scroots, strange golden mists, and giant spiders, the trials test the absolute limits of their magical abilities, making survival seem entirely insurmountable.
But somehow, against all odds, they do overcome it. Together, they touch the Triwizard Cup, claiming a joint victory. But instantly, the tone shifts drastically to cold, freezing horror. The cup is a portkey. It violently transports them miles away to a dark, haunted graveyard. And there, in the blink of an eye, the spare is killed. Cedric Diggory is murdered.
Harry is literally bound to a tombstone, forced to watch this chilling, dark magic ritual unfold right before his eyes. Using bone of the father unknowingly given, flesh of the servant willingly sacrificed, and blood of the enemy forcibly taken, the Dark Lord is completely restored to his terrifying physical form.
The word for this dark resurrection is rejuvenation. Now, normally you hear rejuvenation and you think of something positive, right? Like a spa day, giving new energy, or restoring something to life. But here, the rejuvenation of Lord Voldemort is a grim, horrifying nightmare. He rises from that bubbling cauldron, slips into his black robes, and summons his Death Eaters to witness his violent return to absolute power.
By some absolute miracle, backed by the echoes of his parents' magic, Harry actually manages to escape the graveyard. He makes it back to Hogwarts, clutching Cedric's body. But the mystery isn't over. Plunging back into the shadows of the castle, Harry discovers a horrifying truth. His ultimate protector, Professor Mad-Eye Moody, is an imposter. He's a disguised Death Eater who bewitched the goblet, manipulated the tournament, and orchestrated the entire deadly trap.
In the aftermath of this massive tragedy, the entire school gathers. Dumbledore stands up and delivers a powerful, mournful speech to the Great Hall. Lord Voldemort's gift for spreading discord and enmity is very great, he warns them, his voice echoing in the total silence. We can fight it only by showing an equally strong bond of friendship and trust.
Dumbledore speaks of discord, which is a severe lack of harmony or agreement between people. You see, he knows exactly how Voldemort operates. The Dark Lord plans to win this coming war, not just with dark magic, but by spreading discord, dividing the wizarding world from within and turning friends, schools, and entire nations against one another. He also warns of enmity, which is a state of deep-seated active hatred and hostility. Voldemort absolutely thrives on this enmity. But Dumbledore leaves the students, and us as the audience, with a really profound truth. The only way to defeat such insurmountable enmity and bigotry is with an unbreakable bond of trust, unity, and friendship. So we've traveled all the way from ominous dreams to that dark rejuvenation in the graveyard. But it leaves us with a pretty compelling question. In our own world, when we see discord and bigotry rising, do we have the courage to fight it with unbreakable trust? Think about that as you practice your new vocabulary today. Which word from today's explainer was your favorite? Drop it in a sentence down in the comments below. And hey, if you want to keep mastering English by stepping inside the greatest stories ever told, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to The English Effect. I'll see you in the next chapter.